Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome to a new video on how to fix a PlayStation 5 with an overheating issue.
For your Xbox and PlayStation repairs, visit consoletherapy.com.
So this PlayStation 5 disc edition has been sent in by one of our customers with an overheating issue. I've had a quick look at it. I know on this occasion the actual fan has stopped working, so the fan's faulty itself. There are obviously other reasons why the PlayStation 5 can overheat. That could be like a collection of dust within the heatsink and the power supply units that all can cause overheating issues, but in this case I know that it's the fan that has stopped working. So to do this job you can need a few tools, very basic tools. You need a pair of long nose pliers, a flat blade screwdriver and a Torx 8 screwdriver. Now it's a fairly straightforward, easy job to do. There's no soldering required to actually do the job. So really straightforward. So let's get into it. Now we need to remove this top panel or side panel off of the PlayStation. It's the one where the disk drive is, so you don't have to remove the other side, just this one side where the disk drive is. And the way to do that, you need to lift this side gently and then slide the case backwards. So disk drive's there just for your orientation. We're lifting this side and then pushing to the right. Okay, so gently give it a lift and then pull it backwards like so. Don't be tempted to force it up because you'll snap the little plastic connectors underneath. These snap really easily and you can already see there's quite a lot of dust in this one. So yeah, just be careful of these because they do snap off if you pull up too much. Right, so we put that to one side. So we need to get access to this fan, obviously. There's 4 screws. In their wisdom, Sony have used actually 3 different types of screws. These 2 are the same and that one's different and that one's different, but we'll show you that in a minute. Now to get to that, obviously this plastic bezel here is blocking these screws, so we need to take this plastic bezel off. Easiest way to do that is just grab that with your fingers and it just literally pops off. So put it upwards like so and then off that pops. Okay, so put that to one side. We need to remove this black plastic label which is covering this little cover to get to the actual connector. Get your flat blade screwdriver, there's a little gap there. Just start easing it up and then you can literally just put it off. Like so, it's just stuck down, it's just glue, that's all. So you put it to one side, we can stick that back on after. And then as you can see, the fan connector is just here that we need to get to. So what I usually do is unplug that first of all. So let's just move this cable up around this little black plastic lug here. So the cable's free. Do not be tempted now to yank that cable up, right? And this is why you need your pliers, right? Now we see quite a few PlayStation 5s that come in where people have tried to remove this connector and the actual socket that's soldered onto the motherboard gets ripped off as well, right? It can be repaired, but obviously, you know, you'll need to send it in to get that repaired. So you need to be really careful when you're pulling this up. So let me just show you the best way to do that. Let me zoom in a little bit and hopefully you can see this. Get your pliers and then just hold the actual plug itself with the pliers, okay? And then get your flat blade screwdriver and then hold the actual plug, the actual socket that's on the motherboard. All right, just put some support there for the actual plug that's on the motherboard. Come in with your pliers, right? You can give the socket some support around the side there. And then with your pliers, just give it a little bit of a wiggle and then off it'll pop, right? You noticed with the flat blade screwdriver, I was supporting the socket that's on the motherboard, right? So when I'm pulling this up, I'm not putting too much pressure on this socket, otherwise that does snap off the motherboard. So as I say, 4 screws to remove. Pretty straightforward. Torx 8 screwdriver bit. And these screws, as I say, are different. right? So that's a machine screw, that one there. This one here is also a machine screw, and they're both the same length, right? So you can see those. They're the same screws, right? Machined ones. Take these two out. These are self-tapping screws, and they're different lengths, right? So just to remember which way round they go. All right, different screws there, different lengths. Long one goes this side, short one goes closest to you, that side, okay? So lift off this little cover, right? You need that. And then your fan simply pulls out, okay? Obviously, this is really dirty, and this is probably why the fan has stopped working. So this fan has actually just stopped rotating altogether. And then come in with your new fan. Now, I'm going to replace this now for the sake of the video. I will come back later and give all this a clean up, right? So I'll never leave it like that because it's quite dusty. You can actually see inside how dusty it is, right? You can see how filthy that is, right? But so to make sure this video is not too long, I will come back later on and clean all this up, right? Because this is a nice brand new fan, right? So I don't want to get that covered in dust. And it's always good practice, obviously, to keep your console dust free. So obviously, cable goes to this top part here, right? So fan drops in, okay? Obviously, you can only really drop in one way, where the plastic lugs are and obviously where the screw holes are. Get your cable, feed it underneath that plastic lug there, and then connect up the power. Only goes in one way, right? Push it down, nice and solid. Fold that cable flat, and then come back in with the cover. Again, if you look at this cover here, it's got this little additional bit of metal here, which actually protects the cable. So that obviously goes around that way. And then put our screws back in, right? So we've got our two machine screws, right? So that one there and that one there. They go back in exactly the same place as we took them out. And then obviously, as we just learned, we then need to put back in our self-tapping screws as well. And as we know, the long one goes here to the top. So that's the long screw to the top one, and the smaller short screw down here to the bottom one. So quickly screw those in. Get the little black plastic cover again that we removed earlier. Let's just zoom out so you can see everything. Make sure that cable's out the way, and then literally just line that up. Stick that back down again. The glue will keep it held down again. There's no need to put any more glue on there. Now we need to put this plastic surround back in. Easiest way to do that is if we put the ends in first. So there's this little black tab here and a little black tab at each end. So we put in that side first of all, come down this side, put that side in as well. So they're both in like so, and then just push it back down again like so. Clicks back into place. Then we come back in with our side panel. Obviously only goes in one way round. You can see the slots for the disk drive obviously lines up with the front of the disk drive there, and there are some plastic lugs which line to the holes on the body of the console. So just drop that on, you'll feel it line up, right? So when you give it a wiggle like this, you know it's in place, and then you just push it this way to click it back in place. So give it a push and listen for the click, like so. That's back in place. So there you go, real quick video to show you how to replace the fan on a PlayStation 5. It's exactly the same process on a PlayStation 5 disc edition as it is to the digital edition. Absolutely no different at all to the process. I hope that video was useful and helpful to you. If it was, please consider giving us a thumbs up. It really does help the channel out. We're posting more and more videos every week now. So please also consider subscribing to the channel. It will be much appreciated. And it helps us, encourages us to make more videos just like this one. So thanks very much for your view. Really appreciate your time. Take care of yourselves. Bye bye for now.